My question is really about Burma, and I'll keep it very brief. If you could just comment on how you see the very extraordinary developments there and how you think that will pan out in the future, potentially.
Thank you. This is a big one that's happening. How big, we don't quite know yet, but it's big. After the elections at the end of 2010 and the appointment of a so-called civilian government, most of us in the collective West were somewhat sceptical about what this meant. I took a slightly different view because we had evidence that this was not simply a cynical exercise by the Burmese military. And after a lot of toing and froing between ourselves and the Burmese and a lot of discussion between ourselves and Aung San Suu Kyi and the democratic leaders, I ended up being the first Western foreign minister to go in June last year and speak to the regime. So I went up to Naypyidaw, which is an interesting drive. By the way, if you want a good investment, where's Jack and other business people in the room? You just need to get that concession on the hamburger shop between Rangoon and Naypyidaw, because it's the only place to get a bite to eat for about 4 hours in the car. And it's doing a roaring trade, so business opportunities there. But can I just say, having met Thein Sein and spent a lot of time with him, the president, and with the others, I think there is a real constituency for change because they don't wish to be singularly reliant on a single external power. They also know that they are the poorest country in Asia. They also know they have formidable social and economic problems, not to mention their internal security problems and the various ethnic conflicts. And Thein Sein, I believe, has embarked upon a significant gamble. If you look at the material changes which have been introduced, we've now had 2 to 3 waves of releases of political prisoners of some order of magnitude.
Including today.
And 600 or so today. Secondly, the elections which will be held as of 1 April, involving, I think, 48 by-elections in which Aung San Suu Kyi and other democratic forces will participate in, and she herself as a candidate, together with the establishment of a human rights body in Burma, which immediately called for the release of all political prisoners, so it wasn't a patsy. So the call I made in June was we should give this a go. And I was therefore subsequently on the phone to my colleagues around the world saying that should be the case. I congratulate Hillary for her visit. I think it was very effective and very useful. We're Burma's second largest development partner in the world. We are working in multiple projects on the ground in very basic service delivery. I've seen some of the work on the ground. But it's carrot and stick in some respects. We've got to respond positively. We reduced our sanctions list on Burma last week. We, I think, did it unilaterally. Got a bit of trouble for that. But my view is you've got to encourage. Until we have evidence that it's going to slide in the other direction, I think as positive things are anticipated or happen, you've got to go back the other way. Otherwise, President Thein Sein turns around to the Burmese military and says, I'm sorry, I've got nothing to show for what I've done. And I think that would only end in tears.